What's up guys, Simply Coco here and welcome back to another speed build. Don't forget to like and subscribe as always and leave a comment. I'll always respond to every comment I get. So today's build is going to be a part of my Homes Around the World series. And today we're doing Greece. So this is like a Greek style home. That's really all I have to say is that it's a Greek style home. I wouldn't necessarily call it a villa or anything else. I guess you'd call it a villa. I don't really know the definition of a villa, but so a longer speed build today. So I'm gonna go ahead and apologize now if things kind of jump around too quickly or if they seem sporadic or very spinning, and if you get dizzy, hopefully you don't feel sick or anything like that. But I didn't want the video to be over 30 minutes because doing a voiceover for 20 minutes is already hard enough. So yeah, but I mean, let me know what you guys think. If you would prefer a longer video, I can do that for sure. But anyway, we're doing the exterior. So as you probably know, with Greek homes, they're very the exterior it's kind of made out of this like stone. Like the whole build is just this white stone. I think it's a stone, but so that's why the whole thing is white. And then they have these like bright blue doors, or excuse me, they're not necessarily bright, they're just all blue. So I ended up going with this this darker blue. I think every single door and window comes from base game. And I really would have preferred to use the brighter blue, like the more turquoise or teal blue, but there wasn't a fence that came with that color. Because as you can see, I put a fence on the like top balcony, and there wasn't a fence that came in that brighter blue color. So I had to go with the dark blue, which I really ended up liking, and it worked in the end. There's also like, I was looking at a reference photo, but it wasn't like, it was just for inspiration. It wasn't, the photo I was looking at wasn't this exact build. It didn't look like this. The build I came up, like the what is it called? The shell I kind of came up with myself. I was just looking at reference photos of like different Greece builds, or not builds, but homes, and they all had these like, they were very lush with when I say lush, I mean like overgrown with random plants everywhere that kind of grew naturally, I would assume, or maybe it started as something that was planted and then it just kind of took on a life of its own. I put ferns. Ferns aren't really in Greece, I don't think. But I just wanted it to look more lush, and I brought in more of the ferns in the actual landscaping of the house, because just to make it seem like that the ferns on the house actually came from somewhere. But as you have noticed, I'm building in Sulani. Sulani is definitely more of a tropical climate, and Greece is more of a hot Mediterranean wet climate. So they're different climates, but Sulani really works best for a Greek build in my opinion because of the water, as you probably have seen in like the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants movie where they're in Greece, or like Mamma Mia I think is in Greece, or just these other movies that take place in Greece. It's like surrounded by water and stuff like that. So I just thought Sulani was the perfect place to build this lot. I'm gonna say a lot in this video. I know I say it a lot in every video, but even more so in this video, because I have no idea what I'm gonna talk about for 28 minutes. But this little thing I'm doing now, because a lot of the buildings in Greece too have these like dome top roofs, And right at first, my roof was very just flat and stuff like that. So I tried to give it some character with this. This little part of the roof is accessible. As you can see, I'm doing that now. I replaced one of those are actually windows. Those archways with the fences are windows in the game. So I replaced one of them with an actual archway that your Sims can walk through. Then I put another staircase here. So that's actually, you can actually access that little dome area, and I turned it into like a meditation room. All I put up there is a yoga mat and a meditation stool. So now there's two different living areas. There's one outside and then there's a living room inside. Right now I'm doing the inside one, and I put a fireplace in there, and now I'm doing the chimney. The top of the chimney sticks right out where the yoga room is gonna be, so that probably wouldn't be so realistic, because if the chimney was on and you were up there, the smoke would be all over you, or you'd smell it and it would just not be pleasant. But this is The Sims, so it's okay. But this is the indoor living area. I ended up going with these couches from the movie Hangout stuff pack. It worked really well. Like, that was probably the most Greek looking couch in my opinion. I think they worked really well in here. Yeah. Yeah. Now I am trying to find a rug. I literally go with the first one I pick. It's this one. I am not sure where it's from, but you didn't see me do this on camera because it took me 2 days to do this. And then once I got back on, I decided to do this off camera. But I just put a door next to the fireplace, and that's going to go out to like a little, I don't know what you would call it. I don't really know. It's just like, I don't know what you would call it. It has a name because I've seen speed builds with them in it, but it's just like not a courtyard, but just a little, it's kind of like a porch. That's the best way. That's probably the best thing to call it. It's kind of like a porch, because I didn't know what else to put there. It was too skinny to make it really anything else, so I just kind of put those same windows that I put on the yoga part, and just made it an open like porch area. So this build was really big. It probably took me the longest to do out of all my speed builds so far, so I kind of approached decorating a little differently. I fully furnished every single room first, besides the bathrooms. As I'm recording this, I still haven't done the bathrooms because, I don't want to do them on camera. But this is that area I was talking about. It's just this open room that's open to the outside. But like I was saying, I fully furnished each room first, and then I went back and cluttered them up, which actually didn't take that long. The reason why I didn't clutter them as I was furnishing them, because I thought it was going to take 1,000 years to do it. But once I had everything down, like, it really did not take me that long to clutter. So, like, as a future tip, that's probably a good way to go. Like, furnish every room and then go back room by room and clutter, because then even if it still takes the same amount of time, it will excuse me, it will at least feel like it's not taking you as long, because it'll kind of break up the monotony or the tediousness of sitting there and alt placing clutter and all kinds of stuff like that. Then I just I was trying to find a plant to go there, but all the plants that I wanted had a harsh shadow because they're technically supposed to be outside. This is the laundry room and the biggest bathroom. So all I put in here is a laundry machine and not a dryer, because one of the reference photos I was looking at, they had a clothes, what is this called? excuse me, they had a clothesline. And so I put that out front. I was gonna put it in, sorry if you can hear my cat. He's so spoiled. But I was gonna put it up the stairs, but then I figured I wouldn't want the people to have to wash the clothes and then go all the way up the stairs on the other side of the house to dry them. So I just put the clothesline out front, right in front of the room. But in here, there's a toilet, there's a shower, and a basin. A basin is the sink without a counter piece, if you didn't know that. Now I'm moving on to the kitchen. And while I'm doing the kitchen, I'll go ahead and say because I struggled with the kitchen, so that's why I'm going to kind of break and say this real quick. So the people I imagine living here, I imagine it being a family home. You could technically fit 6 Sims here, but because there's 2 double beds, but one of the double beds is meant to be in a teen's room. So I mean, if you go with my Sims, if you go with my idea of the Sims that live here, that would technically only be 1 person in that bedroom, even though that bed could hold 2. But I imagine there being 5 Sims living here. I imagine it being 2 parents, a teen son, and then a set of twins, a girl and a boy. So I imagine the parents would be, and that those twins would be kids, not teens. I imagine the parents would be older, so not young adults, not adults, and not elders, but somewhere in between there. So I guess if we were like comparing it to like real life ages, I would say the parents are maybe like 62, which I mean, I guess technically in like real life, that's an elder, but that's not that old, you know? The elders in The Sims look like they're 85, you know? So, I don't know. I might actually create this family, and I'd probably create them as adults, but give them gray hair, maybe, to kind of signify that they're slightly older than than adult, but not quite like full on elder yet too. And then I imagine the teenage son being really into astrology and planets and stuff like that. You'll see what I mean when I get to decorating his room. So maybe he wants to be an astronaut. And then the 2 kids, I didn't really think of their personalities very much. I just made their room very colorful and very pretty, and gave them a pretty good amount of activities to do. But yeah, so that's the family that I picture living here. If you don't have island living or don't like playing in Sulani or whatever the case is, the only other place I could see this build working is Oasis Springs. Before I started to build this, I did kind of like look on YouTube to see if any other simmers had ever done a Greek build, and I found like 2 or 3. One was actually Lil Simsy, and it was pretty recent. She only did it like a year ago. Another one was Freezer Bunny, who I've just recently got into. I had heard people mention him. I think maybe from custom content. Maybe he creates custom content. I don't know, but I had never heard him as being a YouTube simmer. Maybe I did. I don't know. But I've heard other YouTubers that I watch say his name. But I recently just discovered his actual YouTube channel and have been trying to watch some of his stuff. But he did a Greek build too. And I don't remember where he built his. But some other, like I said, Lil Simsy did hers in Oasis Springs. And some other people did as well. So if you don't want it in Sulani, that's probably the next best place. Right now, I am doing the parents' room. This is directly connected to the kitchen. So every room is literally like its own separate, not house, but its own separate entity. Like I can see both, as you can see, sorry, I said that like 3,000 times too fast. But as you can see, the 2 bedrooms are both upstairs. And they're their own little section of the house. This is the teens room. I did kind of fly through the parents' room and the kitchen, but I do go back to clutter them. So you'll get a closer look later when I do go back to clutter up everything. So this is the teens room. And it took me a while to figure out the floor plan because I knew that there needed to be bathrooms. Because I didn't want like the people that I didn't want the kids, which their room is on the other side of this balcony. I wouldn't want them to have to go all the way to this side of the balcony, go down the stairs, and then back to their other side of the house to go to the bathroom. So what I ended up doing was I put a small 2x2 bathroom in every single room. So every single room has its own small ensuite, except for the parents' room downstairs in the kitchen. It's a 2x3. It's a 2x3 bathroom. So theirs is slightly bigger, mainly because I wanted them to have a tub. And the reason why I wanted them to have a tub is because, like I said, I imagine them being slightly older and I wouldn't want them to have to only take showers. So yeah, that's why I did that. You don't see me furnish any bathrooms at all. At some point you will see me, the footage will change and you'll see that the small bathrooms have stuff in them, but I didn't go and decorate it or anything like that on camera. Or maybe some of them I did. I don't remember. I'll see as I'm watching it back. But now I am doing the kids' room, if I didn't mention that already. So I went with this green bed and then this kind of yellowish, reddish, pinkish bed. And I really liked it because I felt like maybe the mom made those quilts. Just the patterns in general made me really think Greek. But now I'm going to start cluttering. So at this point, every room is now furnished, and now I'm going to start cluttering. So these books that I just placed on the dresser, I imagine those being coloring books. I know they don't look like it. They look like notes or something, or school books or something, but I imagine they'd be coloring books. That's why I put the like pencil thing next to it with the scissors in it. I really I know clutter is just clutter, but I really enjoyed the clutter I put on their dresser. I don't know why, but I just really loved it. Here's another pro tip. I don't end up using a dollhouse, but if you use a dollhouse and size it down, they will still use it because the animation is the same, because they don't actually interact with the dollhouse. They just pull out, dolls out from nowhere. They're all spellcasters, I guess, but they pull dolls out from nowhere and then they just kind of play with the dolls in front of the dollhouse. But this is the kids' room, completely furnished and cluttered. And now you do see me trying to put some things in the bathroom. It's not a whole lot. I do put those bunnies, and then I put 2 paintings there, and then I'm literally done with their bathroom. Now I'm worried about the lights. I go with just the regular base game, like ceiling light. Now I'm going back to the teens' room and cluttering up his room. This is where you'll see a lot of his personality come in. That's the only computer in the whole house, because I assumed the parents, like I said, would be older. They wouldn't really be too much into technology. And then the teen would kind of need a computer for schoolwork and college stuff later on and stuff like that. So that's why he has a computer. Surely if the kids want to come and use it, they can, stuff like that, whatever. The parents can come and use it. I'm sure they will without even you telling them to. But now I'm putting posters on his wall. I thought these posters looked great. And I didn't have his like storyline in mind before I put those posters up, so those posters gave me his storyline. So if you wanted to, you could even put a rocket ship in the backyard if you want, and start gaining his skill, assuming you kind of go with the same storyline. Now I'm doing his bathroom. I realized I didn't put toothbrushes and stuff in anyone's bathroom, so I went back and did that. I gave him a towel rack, and then I put a picture, like a poster next to it. Yes, I go with this one, just to kind of customize his bathroom a little more to him, as if he did it. As you just saw, it really got sporadic just then. I'm very sorry. This part of the video from now on is actually slower than the beginning was. When I was doing the exterior and the landscaping, it was like sped up at like 16 times, and now it's only at 8. It's been at 8 for a while, but it's still, when I move around too much, it still goes kind of wild. So I'm sorry about that. But now I'm cluttering up the kitchen. So as you can see, I went with these counters from Parenthood. Obviously, with this Greek home and the theme kind of being blue, that I used the blue ones with the white tops. I thought this was neat. It didn't fit perfectly, but I sized down another one of those spoon holder things and put it into another one just to make it look fuller, because all of those things only have like 3 or 4 spoons in them, and it just looks really sparse. I did put a coffee pot because I felt like the parents would really like their coffee in the morning, but it's not functional because I put it on a bar table, sized it down, and then put it there. So you can't actually use it. You'd have to click on it and place it on the actual counter, which you could, but then I think you would lose cooking space because I cluttered up every counter except for that end counter. As you can see, I used those Jungle Adventure vases and made them into flower pots. Still just cluttering up the kitchen. Now I found this. It's like the if you could even see what that was. It was like the raking object. I just threw that outside because I thought that was neat. Now I'm just finishing up the kitchen, putting in the kitchen lights. I really liked these lights. Aren't the ones I go with. These are the ones I go with. They're from Cats and Dogs. Excuse me. Again, a lot of the reference photos I was looking at for Greek homes, they had these like almost like lantern lights, but not, they didn't look like lanterns. Like when you think of a lantern and how that looks, it didn't look like that, but it gave me a lantern feel. So that's why I went with those. The bottom floor is actually medium wall height, so you really can't see the lights all that well, but I figured that was okay. I used these curtains in the living room as well, and I really like how they went with the build. The curtains are from Island Living, if you didn't know. And really, in general, a lot of the Island Living items really went well for this build in general. One, I assume because we're building in Sulani, which is the Island Living pack. And then 2, because I think they go well for a Greek home. I think a lot of the Island Living items look like they could belong in an actual Greek home. So did a lot of the Jungle Adventure things. This fireplace is from Jungle Adventure. Love it. Absolutely love it. And I was so lucky that it came in that color swatch with the blue kind of towel on it. Now I am doing just this little outside little porch area. All it has is that plant with the pine cones, and then that seating area. I put a flower on there, and that's literally it. Now I'm realizing there's no outside lights, so I think these are called sconces. I can only say them in a British accent because another YouTuber I watch, Devin Bumpkin, his real name's Aiden. If you watch him, he says it like that. He says sconces. So that's what I call them. I don't know if they're called scones or scones, or scones is a pastry, so I doubt they're called that. But sconce, maybe they're called sconce if I were to say it in an American accent. I don't know. But I do put those around. I usually put lighting in my landscaping as well, but I just didn't think it would have worked in this case because I figured that the landscaping would be natural. Like they didn't plant that. That's just what's grown around the place. This came with Jungle Adventure and I didn't know what it was, but it's actually this little table right here with the wheels. It's actually a craft selling table. So that kind of gave me the idea of what the mom and dad do. So I would say the dad is like a handyman and he'll go out and sell his creations. Maybe he's a famous one, not famous, but maybe he's very popular in the community. And then I figured the mom would like create flower arrangements and go off and sell those. And maybe she's popular in the community selling flowers. I put the sun loungers over there because behind the house is some sandy area that leads straight to a beach. So I figured you'd want that beach view if you were laying out tanning. And then since this part of the deck was shaded, I put just a small seating area just in case you were outside and wanted to be just in case your Sims were outside and wanted to be in a shaded area. I don't know if shade actually will cool your Sim off, but I think it will stop your Sim from tanning. But yeah, but I don't know if like your Sim is dying to death. If your Sim is is burning to death, I don't know if going to stand in shade works. I don't think so. But now I'm doing the outside living area. I really loved this idea of having this open archway room. I really wanted to use these benches, but then I second guessed myself because I really wanted something that had a cushion because I wanted you to be comfortable when you were out here. I imagine this is where the parents would come and drink their coffee in the morning, where they would host like different parties. That's why I put a TV. That's the only TV on the lot. There's not a TV in the other living room or in any of the bedrooms. It's in a weird spot, but had I put the couches in any other orientation, it just didn't look right to me. And the two middle awnings or archways, they wouldn't have been able to walk through. So I went with it like that. Then I just needed other things. So I put this table and I figured that'd be a table that they would use for entertainment purposes. So I'll put the like juice server thing on it that came with Spa Day. I'll put that on it and then I'll put something else on it. The little wine bottle thing that holds the wine bottle in ice. I found that vase, like I said last time, filter by color. You'll find a lot of things you've never seen before because I've never seen that vase a day in my life. But I made it another flower pot. But yeah, I figured that's where they would kind of serve food off of for parties. And then I was like, they don't have an outdoor dining space, but they have an outdoor living space. So then I put an outdoor dining space and a grill. I did kind of furnish that top deck a little bit. If you can kind of see that, you'll definitely see it in the screenshots. Now I'm just putting terrain paint around the house to make it sit in a lot better. And then that was me putting the yoga mat and the screenshot should be rolling. Sorry, I was talking so fast. I had a lot to say and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.